Okay, this is actually going to be an office hour day. Mm, so we're going to have an office hour to I'm dating a broke guy, but he has a great personality. Oh, right. Mm. Um, okay, so basically, there's kind of a lot of points, but I think let's like dial back for a second. In my last video, I made this point, and I feel like we might have brushed over it. If you are watching this video, somehow you have figured out some sort of. Oh, this is hilarious. Perk, come out of the bag. Perk, come out of the bag. There's like this travel, but I'm going to show you guys this because it's actually really funny. Hold on. Dude, okay, so this is like a travel bag that I got, and it's just sitting on the floor, and the cat has literally decided to just hang out in the travel bag. This is not a bed, honey. Look at her. She's just like chilling out in there. Whatever. We went on a walk to the wine shop today. So we took a field trip. I'm trying to get them accustomed to being outside because one of my cats just sits out of the window and like looks stares into the universe, and so I felt bad. I'm like, I want them to have outdoor experience. Mm. And they made friends with the clerk, who seems to be friendly toward kittens. Anyway, dating a broke guy. So in the last video, I actually said like, yeah, so there is a. Those of you watching this video have some sense of stability. Like you figured out housing in some way, you figured out meals in some way. Hopefully, if you're watching this video and you haven't figured those things out, this is not the right channel for you because I don't talk about mutual aid. I've made some videos about mutual aid when I was like studying poverty, but I don't make videos about mutual aid. The best advice I could give is like get a job at a restaurant, eat the food at the restaurant, and do that for like a whole year. Just get a job at one restaurant, no matter how shitty the restaurant is. They make food. There's ways you can get free food or subsidize your food. It will get you just in the habit of taking home some money. Go stay at like a shelter if you need to. They also one thing that's actually pretty funny. I kept up with this, but anyway, so in Nashville, they have a new shelter that's just for women, so it's completely free. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think the church paid for it, but if you're a woman, they have this completely new facility that is totally free. You could just literally just go and like live there. I don't think there's even a limit on how long you could stay. So if you're really that broke, go get a Greyhound ticket and go to Nashville. I don't know, go stay at the Mission over here. It's like a women's center just for women. The men's one is like completely run down, but the women's one opened like last month. It's a totally new facility for women and children. So if you're confused about like who has value and who doesn't, let it be clear: women have value, men don't. So women can like literally live for free in a whole new facility, and men don't get that. So there you go. God said. Anyway, um, so yeah, like let's if you can just get a job, really any job. If you're just starting out, get a job at Popeyes, KFC. Really, it doesn't matter anywhere. Somewhere that will give you like a paycheck, right? And then with that paycheck, like let's say if you're really, really at the bottom, like at the bottom is this like if you're living in a shelter or if you're living with your parents, it's kind of the same thing because like somebody else is like footing the bill for you. Unless you're in a space where you're like paying your own bills, like you have your apartment. See, like level zero is like living with your parents, living in a shelter, staying on the couch at your aunt's house, whatever that situation is. That's like what a dorm room in college like if you're in college and you're living in a dorm, or if you're living at your parents' house and you're trying to figure out life, or if you're living in a shelter, or if you're like just living with some family member, all of that is like level 0 because you don't have any real responsibility. Like, you're not paying your own bills yet. You haven't entered the real world yet. Level 1 is like you have your own apartment, you have your own electricity bill, you have your own phone bill, you have your own water bill, you have some sort of transit system where you're able to get to and from work, and you have a job. That's level 1. This channel is mostly for people who are functioning at level 1. So if you are a woman and you are functioning at level 1, well, there's just certain things that come with that. Like, your housing costs money. It is not free. Okay? Your food costs money. It is not free. Your transit costs money. It is not free. You have a job that is providing the money so that you can, like, do these things. There's a system here. Like, I don't know how often you get paid. If you're a server, you get paid every day. If you have like a job in an office, maybe you get paid every week. Whatever the system is, you're getting paid on a frequency. And it's like consistent. And that's the thing. Right? But like, if you are um yeah, I don't know, how do I say, like, if you're not if you are if you're trying to think about dating someone, like a guy, you'd have to really think about, like, what does he bring to the table. Now, that, like, if you're at level 1 where you're just like renting, you just have like a job and you're like getting into the rhythm of like paying all your bills and stuff, it is a real rhythm because like bills will like take all of your money so quickly. It's like the girl who's been crying about, I work 40 hours and I still don't have any money. That's when you start thinking about relationships and maybe just getting into a relationship with another person who has a job and works 40 hours a week, just so you could like split your bills in half. Because even just splitting your bills with one other person, it would cut your cost of living in half, which kind of makes it worth it. But you can't do this with somebody who A, is not bringing in as much money as you. So like, they need to have a job and work like 40 hours a week. And the guys that we're talking about here, they don't do that. Guys who are working 40 hours a week are going to be able to, at least like once a week, take you to dinner. That's the thing. Any guy has like an extra $100. Any guy with a job has an extra $100 a week that he could spend on taking you to dinner. That's like, even a guy who earns minimum wage has that. Especially if guys are like living with their parents or something. Like, in this office hour, we saw that woman was like staying at home, like she wasn't doing anything. So you know how she was talking about like watching all the girls on Instagram who are doing all these things, and she's like, I don't have any of those things. Um, yeah, yeah, like there are a lot of women who are receiving princess treatment, and we actually don't see it on Instagram. Which is another reason I encourage a lot of women, especially the ones who want to be like the divine feminine women, go work at a high end restaurant. Go be like a host. People are always hiring for hosts. All you have to do is like walk in looking pretty, like put together, like pretty, and people will hire you as a host. You just show up, you just walk, you punch in on open table where to put people and sit them there. You're just kind of nice. They like, pretty much everyone will hire you as a host. Um, but you will learn, like, you will literally start to see like who is getting these dinners, and that's what I'm trying to. This is the part where I feel like some of you guys who aren't out in the world working, you're missing it. Because like, the thing I keep saying from this channel, when I keep saying like I'm in the real world, I have a real job and I work in restaurants, and I work in like fine dining, middle dining, and breakfast serving. Now, I saw one thing I thought that Shara Sivan was saying. She was like, oh, like she was talking about these like hip places that people go to breakfast, and like wealthy men go to breakfast, and what time they go to breakfast and all that stuff. I co-sign everything she said. Like, I work at a couple of different types of restaurants, but one of them is more of like a trendy place, and the other one's more like a just really popular place. But at both places, I see like two things: families coming in where men have like two to three children between the ages of like like 2 months and like 6 years old. They're coming in with their wife and children in both of the places. So one is like maybe half the price of the other. So one is like double the price of the other. And at both places, though, families are coming in, okay, with their wives and their children. The men are paying for the bill here. Everybody's having a meal. Like, these women are not like, they're not all, most of the women aren't like supermodel women. Some women are like, pretty, but it isn't like most of them. Like, most of them are just like average women, right? But they just have standards. Clearly, like, they're just picking men who like want to be men, because those men are literally showing up, they're paying the bill, providing for their family. Or it's just like, not everybody's married. Like, some people are just out here dating. It's like a boyfriend and girlfriend who are coming for breakfast, coming for lunch. It's like all times of day from like 6 a.m. to like 3 o'clock. This is because I work mornings. So like, this is happening every day, all the days of the week. And it's like all different races of people, all different incomes. Like, women are getting dates, and the meals that are coming out are like really those Instagrammable meals that everybody's talking about. Like, we definitely serve those. People are definitely eating them. They're good. All like, when you see the girls, the influencers, and they're showing you like these lifestyles and these places and stuff, people are getting those dates. And it's like, most of the women who are going to these places aren't like, maybe they have like private Instagram accounts or something that they're using to showcase like, I'm at this dinner. Maybe they like don't need to monetize their life because they're just living their life. I don't know. The point being, though, if you have a job, okay, and you have an apartment and you have transit and all these things, why would you expect that the guy that you're dating doesn't have those things, or that he like wouldn't be willing to like subsidize like one meal for you? Like, why can't he take you out once a week, twice a week? There's like a restaurant, it's like a sandwich shop, it's called Jimmy John's. The sandwiches are like $9.99. So why couldn't a guy take a girl to Jimmy John's? I like Jimmy John's sandwiches. It's like a really basic place. It's definitely not like a fine dining meal, but I'm just saying, like, you can't go to Jimmy John's, because it sounds like the way this woman was talking about it, like, this guy is not paying for anything. They're not going anywhere. There, no breakfast spots, no lunch spots, no walks, no hikes, no rose gardens, no museums, no concerts. It sounds like all the things that they did, she paid for it. And as soon as she stopped paying for things, they just didn't go anywhere. So, no, this guy doesn't have a good personality, because he couldn't even, like, pick up any, like, gig shifts, like, nothing, where he could, like, have some money to just take her out somewhere. Like, that was, like, too much effort for him. Imagine that. Just think about for yourself. If you were trying to date you, think about, like, even with all, because you understand your financial situation, so think about, like, what you would be willing to sacrifice in order to afford a date with you. Ask yourself, seriously, like, what would you sacrifice? Is it seriously nothing? Because, like, this guy is talking about, he's basically saying, I'm going to sacrifice nothing, which is really shitty. That's actually pretty fucked up. To say to somebody, like, yes, I'm willing to sacrifice nothing to date you because I can't afford it. So you're just going to, like, deal with the fact that you can't afford it forever? Like, I don't know if I'd want to deal with somebody who's literally saying they are not willing to, like, they are not willing to give any more effort than what they currently have in order to provide something for me, because they're so lazy that they just don't want to. That's so fucked up. Because just remember, like, every hour has a cost. Like, even if someone's working minimum wage, like, what is the minimum wage? $15 or something? Or whatever it is. I don't know where you live, but, like, let's just say the minimum wage is even lower. The minimum wage is, like, $7. Okay, so, like, if this guy works one day for 7 hours, and he gets paid $7, so he's making $50 that day. Okay, so if clearly he wasn't paying any of the other bills before anyway with what he was doing, so why can he spend that $50 to take you somewhere? He couldn't do that? That sounds like he just doesn't care. Especially if he's spending 7 hours or something playing video games. I don't know. Watch the video for yourself, but I thought it was even funnier to not funny at all. Not sorry, funny is not the right word. It was just kind of fucked up to hear like the woman who got pregnant off a guy like that, and he watched her get pregnant, and then she worked 2 jobs while she was 8 months pregnant, and he didn't even care. He was just like, I don't even care. He, oh god.